What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with actually another NBA draft scouting report. So I said I was going to be done, and I thought I was, but there were two more that I just never got to get to do, and they're two pretty big prospects that honestly I would like to cover a little bit more. So first one is going to be Ante Zizic, and that's what I'm doing right now. So get into a little bit of his background information, stats, that sort of stuff. So he is a 6'11", 240 pound, actually about 250 pound now, center out of Split, Croatia. He plays for Sabona Zagreb. He's 19 years old and he's got a 7'3" wingspan. So he actually is, I believe, on the same team as Ivica Zubac right now, who was the last scouting report I did. So get into some of his strengths. First one is he plays fast and aggressive. He is a very high energy guy. That's pretty much his role. He does project as an NBA role player, but there are very few guys in this draft that are more energetic and more productive than him. I guess that's a good word to say. He uses his tools pretty much to his max ability. He has the ability to outwork really anyone in the paint. That's again one of his greatest strengths. He plays well in transition. He uses his body well, can absorb contact in the paint. This is a guy that averaged 5.7 free throw attempts per game, only playing 25.7 minutes. So he's averaging almost 10 free throw attempts per 40 minutes. That's a lot, considering he only took 7.4 field goal attempts per game. That's actually a pretty crazy average for a big that projects only as a role player. So second strength is his good frame. He's got a wide frame, wide body. He's like I said, at about 240, 250 pounds. At 6'11", it's a good frame. He's strong. Like I said, he can use his body well, can play aggressive. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. That's again a good wingspan to have for that height. He's not a guy that's going to go to the NBA and be a rim protector, but he will get you a few blocks every once in a while. Averages about 3 blocks per 40 minutes. And also, this strength will move into his next, this certain positivity in just his frame will move into the next strength, which is his great effort in rebounding. I mentioned this earlier. He is about as high energy guy as there is in this draft. He's got a great motor. Again, he's willing to outwork almost anyone on the boards. Averaged about 13 rebounds per game in the Adriatic League last year. And considering he's only 19 years old, I think I was looking at that was second among all players 20 and under in the Adriatic League. This is a guy that will be a high energy type rebounder in the draft. Not really Domantas Sabonis type. They're a little bit different, but when you look at the numbers and you look at the way they work, their work ethic, those are two similarities between those players. Now, when you talk about his rebounding ability, he's an absolute animal on the boards. Like I said, he will really get after it on offense, and even though he pulls down significantly more defensive rebounds than a lot of other players, averaging 12 rebounds, or I'd say the balance is a little bit more towards the defensive end of the court compared to other players that are high rebounders. But again, he's very good on the offensive boards. But also, he did put up, honestly, for the amount he played, he did put up a lot of shots. And normally put up your own shots, you don't get your own rebounds. So that could be a reason. Another thing is just the Adriatic League has a lot of NBA prospects right now, so that is some tough competition. So for strength is he is good in transition. This is kind of just a culmination of everything. He's light on his feet. He's fluid. He is pretty fast. He's not a great athlete, but for his size, he can get up and down the floor. He has good hands. He can finish at the rim. Like I said, with about a 9'1" standing reach, he doesn't need a crazy vertical to be able to play above the rim. And also, he knows his role. Like I said, he's high energy. The motor, he's never stopping. So even if he's the one getting a turnover, even if he's the one down low, he gets to the rim very quickly on the offensive end of the floor and can finish, like I said, very well at the rim. So get into some of his weaknesses. First one is probably the most obvious one for him, and that's inexperience. He cannot, he can't be taken as, I guess, bad in any one of these certain areas that I mentioned with the weaknesses. Like I said, he hasn't been playing for that long. A lot of the guys he's playing against are, 20 to 30 years old. And like I said, he hasn't been playing pro ball for that long. So he is kind of a project. Also projects more as a role player than anything else. But you can't take any of his inefficiencies on either end of the floor, things like fundamentals, footwork, turnovers. I'll get into that later. You can't take any of those to heart because he hasn't really had a chance to develop them yet. So second weakness is his offensive development. Like I said, you can't take. This is something that I think could really reverse itself. But again, there are a few red flags when you look at his game. One, he does not have an advanced arsenal of post moves since he does spend most of the time in the post. You'd like to see maybe a few more moves taken into account besides the jump hook. That's really his best move. That's really his only move. And again, I think this is a guy that, with improved footwork, fundamentals, agility, can really add some new post moves into his arsenal and at least be able to be a good post scorer in the NBA. Now, another problem for him is turnovers. It's a big problem. He averages 0.4 assists per game to 2.4 turnovers. Again, big red flag. He needs to. I think he needs to be able to slow down the game a little bit in his mind. I'll talk about this a lot. He's one of the biggest cases of this problem. Again, always high energy, but sometimes just needs to be a little bit more patient. Slow the game down and pay attention to, have a little bit more awareness with his passing, and take a little bit better care of the ball when he's trying to post someone up. One more thing is, I think a mid-range jumper is something that a lot of people talk that he will be able to develop in the NBA. I could see it happening. Again, good. He's got good fundamentals, a good shooting stroke. So it's something that you could see coming along eventually. And something that I hope does. So his third weakness is just his overall athleticism. Like I said, not an elite vertical, not elite speed, not elite agility, not elite strength either. I'd say he's a mediocre athlete. He's definitely not unathletic. I mean, there's to say he's unathletic would be taken away from his. He actually has pretty good strength and he's pretty fast for his size. He's not the type of guy that has to lumber up and down the floor, but at the same time, again, he's not elite in any area, and there's a lot of areas that he's also mediocre in. All right, so talk about where I think he fits into the draft. What schemes he'll fit in best in, what his first few years in the league are probably going to look like. So Zizic is a guy that has kind of risen on draft boards for the last couple months. Really wasn't a big name up until about a month or two ago. The last NBA Draft.net mock draft has him going at 47 to the Orlando Magic, but also if you look at any other sites, if you look at most ESPN big boards from the last few weeks, also if you look at any Draft Express big board, also if you look at Bleacher Report, then most of them have him going a little bit higher, have him around the 30 to 35th ranked player. So I think personally he's probably going to be a early second round pick. I say early to mid. I don't know if he's going to fall as far as 47. A few situations that I really like him to end up in. One is the Boston Celtics. They need help down low. Having a project like him, a high energy guy that could support the rest of the high energy tempo that they play with, that would be a big get for them. Talking about a few other fits, another one that I would like is the Milwaukee Bucks. They're probably going to be looking more toward, I'd say, point guard, but you know what, they could use a little bit of help in the rotation for center, and getting developed under a guy that's good in the post like Greg Monroe, that could be big for him. And then another fit that I do really like is, I don't think they have a single draft, never mind. I was going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers, but another fit that I do really like is the New Orleans Pelicans. They do have 2 picks in the top I believe the top 10 picks of the second round. So getting developed behind Anthony Davis. They do have a need at power forward right now. Anthony Davis is a guy that can play power forward. I'm not going to say Zizic is definitely not a guy that's going to come in and start from day one, but again, Pelicans would be a good fit as well. Now, when you're talking about development situations, I think that this is a guy that's going to have to take 2 or 3 years to be able to fit in as maybe a 6th or 7th man to the rotation. I have no idea how he's going to turn out. Guys like this, it's not a big boom or bust because, like I said, he's a high energy guy. Any way you look at it, he's probably going to find a role with an NBA team, which is a big plus when you're drafting him. But it's going to take a while for him to be able to average anywhere close to 10 points, I think. Again, he's able to get to the free throw line, which will help his points per game averages. Plays, like I said, I think he's a decent free throw shooter. I need to look at the free throw. Yeah, 70%, so he's a decent free throw shooter. And like I said, gets to the line almost 10 times per game per 40 minutes, at least over in the Adriatic League. So that pretty much does it for this video. Draft lottery is tonight. I will be doing the next scouting report that I will be doing is Wade Baldwin. And that'll come either tonight or tomorrow. So that's pretty much it. See ya.